everyone, and thank you for tuning in to All NFL Talk here at the University of Central Missouri on YouTube. I am your host, Ben Avery. On this show, I'm going what I think is going to happen with your favorite NFL team. Now, for the Chiefs, I have them finishing 13-4, with Patrick Mahomes getting 3,673 passing yards. The key players for the Chiefs are going to be Patrick Mahomes, Juju Smith-Schuster, Travis Kelce, and Chris Jones. I predict the Chiefs are going to finish as a wildcard team because of how stacked the AFC West is with quarterbacks. I also think Sky Moore and McCole Hardman are going to have a great season. I think Mahomes is going to throw for 39 passing touchdowns. For the LA Chargers, I have them finishing 12-5. Justin Herbert, I think, is going to have 3,356 passing yards. This season, this is only Justin's third year. And I think the NFL will be much harder this year. The AFC West is going to be the best they've ever been this year. The Chiefs got Juju Smith-Schuster from the Steelers, and although Tom Brady is entering into his age 45 season and his 23rd season overall, I don't think he'll be slowing down anytime soon. The Broncos acquired Russell Wilson from the Seattle Seahawks, and that's just a few examples on why I think Justin Herbert will have a hard time figuring out each team. For the Broncos, I have them finishing with the best record in the AFC with a record 15-2, which I actually should put 15. I have it right, 15-2. Passing for 4,978 passing yards. A couple key players on the team is going to be Russell Wilson and DJ Jones. I know Russell Wilson is with a new team, but I think Russell Wilson is what the Broncos needed. I honestly think Russell Wilson will be the next Peyton Manning if Wilson stays in Denver as long as Manning did. For the Raiders, I have them unfortunately finishing 8-9, so that's under 500. Which I don't know how you can get over 500 with an odd number of games. But anyway, I have them finishing 8-9. Derek Carr has 3,212 passing yards, and I have the Raiders finishing in last place in the AFC West. I think this is more of a rebuilding year for the Raiders because they just lost John Gruden as their coach last season. For the Buffalo Bills, I have them finishing 13-4. Some key players on the Bills are going to be Josh Allen, Von Miller, and Jordan Phillips. And Josh Allen is going to have 4,537 passing yards. I think the Bills are going to be a great team, well-rounded team this year, with Josh Allen and Von Miller on offense and Jordan Phillips on defense. For the Miami Dolphins, I have them finishing 11-6. Key players will be Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill. I have Tua Tagovailoa passing for 3,238 passing yards. I don't think the Dolphins are going to make the playoffs for the 6th or 7th year in a row. The last time they made the playoffs was 2016. They lost to the Steelers in the wild card game. From the New England Patriots, I have them finishing 12-7. Key players will be Mac Jones and Lawrence Guy. Mac Jones will have 3,134 passing yards. The Patriots don't have Tom Brady anymore, and they don't have Julian Edelman anymore. So I think they'll have to adjust with a new young quarterback in Mac Jones. For the New York Jets, I have them finishing 7-10. I think Zach Wilson is going to have 2,723 passing yards. The Jets have not been a good team this past decade, so I don't think they'll be anything exciting this year. For the Cincinnati Bengals, I have the Bengals finishing 14-3, with the key players being Joe Burrow, Thaddeus Moss, and Eli Apple. The last 16 quarterbacks to lose their first Super Bowl have never made it back to another Super Bowl. I feel like Joe Burrow is going to break that. Stay tuned to find out if I think it will be this year. This is Thaddeus Moss's rookie year, but I think he is still going to be a key player because he helped the LSU Tigers win the national championship, and I believe he scored 2 touchdowns in that game. For the Baltimore Ravens, I have them finishing 13-4. Some key players are Lamar Jackson, Justin Houston, and Mike Davis. Lamar Jackson, I think, will have 4,694 passing yards. This will be a great season for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson is still trying to seek his first Lombardi Trophy, first Super Bowl victory. For the Cleveland Browns, I have them finishing 10-7. Some key players I think will be Deshaun Watson and Joel Bitonio. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but Joel Bitonio. The amount of passing yards I predict Deshaun Watson is going to get is 2,521. With Deshaun Watson and Baker Mayfield, with Deshaun Watson taking Baker Mayfield's spot, I think the Browns will improve this year, but I don't think they'll make the playoffs. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think their record will be 8-9. Mitch Trubisky will pass for 2,956 passing yards. I know Mitch was the starting QB for the Bears in the past, but that was the Bears. Pittsburgh is a much different team. I think it'll take a couple years for Trubisky to really settle in. I have the Steelers finishing in last place in the AFC. For the Tennessee Titans, I have them finishing 11-6. Some key players for the Titans are Ryan Tannehill and Robert Woods. Ryan Tannehill, I think, will have 3,751 passing yards. I think the Tennessee Titans are going to be in playoff contention this year. I have them making a wild card berth. For the Houston Texans, I have them finishing 7-10. Davis Mills, I predict, is going to have 2,735 passing yards. I think it'll still take Davis Mills one more year or two till he adjusts to the defense in the playbook and the playbook. For the Indianapolis Colts, I have them finishing 12-15. Some key players I think are going to be Matt Ryan and Stephon Gilmore. Matt Ryan's passing yards, I think he'll get 4,011. I think the Colts are going to make the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to make it past the divisional game. For the Jacksonville Jaguars, I have them finishing 7-10. Trevor Lawrence passing yards, I think he is going to get 3,857. I don't think the AFC South is going to be the strongest conference, if I'm being honest. Okay, we're at the halfway point. Trivia time! Who has the most Pro Bowl selections in NFL history with 15? Is it Tony Gonzalez, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, or Tom Brady? I'll give you a couple seconds. The answer is Tom Brady. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I have them for the best record in the NFL, 16-1. With key players being Tom Brady, Julio Jones, and Mike Evans. Tom Brady passing yards. I have Tom Brady passing for 5,396 passing yards. Whenever Tom Brady plays, I feel like that puts his team in a great spot. I have Tom Brady helping the Bucs clinch the NFC conference. I also think in Week 17, they'll let backup Blaine Gabbert start the game in Week 17. For the Atlanta Falcons, I have them finishing 2-15. Unfortunately, I have Marcus Mariota passing for 2,895 passing yards. If you're a Falcons fan, I'm sorry. I'm putting the Falcons in last place in the NFL. No one really sticks out from the roster that makes me say, oh, this guy is going to have a good season. For the Carolina Panthers, I have them finishing 9-8. I think a couple key players for the Panthers are going to be Baker Mayfield and Damian Wilson. The amount of passing yards I predict Baker's going to throw for is 3,854. I think the Panthers are going to do better than they did last year, but I don't have them being enough for the playoffs. For the New Orleans Saints, I have them finishing 11-6. And Jameis Winston's passing yards is going to be 3,511. Key players are going to be Jameis Winston and Tyrann Mathieu. I think this is going to be a good season for the Saints, but they are not making the playoffs. For the LA Rams, I have them finishing 14-3. Some key players are going to be Matthew Stafford and Aaron Donald. And I have Matthew Stafford throwing for 4,822 passing yards. The Super Bowl 56 champion LA Rams. I think they'll make it to the playoffs, but I don't have them making the Super Bowl. The hardest thing in the NFL is to go back to back. And I don't think the Rams are going to do it. For the Seattle Seahawks, I have them finishing 8-9. Some key players I think is going to be Drew Lock, Kyle Fuller, and Jamal Adams. Drew Lock, depending on how many games he starts, I think is going to have 3,011 passing yards. I have the Seahawks finishing better than they did last year, but not playoff worthy. For the Arizona Cardinals, I have them finishing 12-5. Some key players I think is going to be Kyler Murray and J.J. Watt. Kyler Murray passing yards, I think he's going to have 3,945 passing yards. I think the Cardinals are going to be a very good team this year, a wild card team at best. For the San Francisco 49ers, I have them finishing 11-6. Some key players I think is going to be Jimmy Garoppolo, and George Kittle. I think the 49ers are going to be an above average team this year. I don't have them making the playoffs this year. For the New York Giants, I have them finishing 5-12. I think Tyrod Taylor is going to have 2,265 passing yards. I unfortunately don't think the Giants are ready to compete for a Super Bowl yet. Sorry, New York. For the Dallas Cowboys, I have them finishing 13-4. I think some key players are going to be Dak Prescott and Zach Martin. I have Dak Prescott throwing for 3,834 passing yards. I think the Cowboys have what it takes to to make the playoffs. Stay tuned to see if I think they'll make the Super Bowl. For the Washington Commanders, I have them finishing 8-9. Their only key player is going to be Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz passing yards, 3,512. After letting go of Alex Smith, I don't think Carson Wentz is the quarterback that is going to help the Commanders amount to much and win enough games. For the Philadelphia Eagles, I have them finishing 10-7. Don't you hate it when you're trying to turn the page and it won't turn? Some key players, I think the only key player is going to be Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts passing yards, 3,731. I don't think the Eagles are going to make the playoffs this year, but I think next year, I think they'll have a chance next year if they make the right moves. For the Green Bay Packers, I have them finishing 14-3. Key players I think is going to be Aaron Rodgers and Sammy Watkins. I have Aaron Rodgers finishing with 4,572 passing yards. I think the Packers are going to make a deep run into the playoffs. Do I think they'll make the Super Bowl? Stay tuned to find out. For the Detroit Lions, I have them finishing 3-14. Jared Goff is going to have 2,958 passing yards. I honestly don't think Jared Goff is going to help the Lions amount to much. Sorry, Detroit. For the Minnesota Vikings, I have them finishing 11-6. Some key players I think is going to be Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson. Kirk Cousins I think is going to have 3,945 passing yards. I think the Vikings are going to be an average team but not make the playoffs. And for the Chicago Bears, I have them finishing 8-9. Some key players for the Bears, Justin Fields and Byron Pringle. Justin Fields passing yards, 3,811. I think the Chicago Bears are improving. They need a few more talented players to make the playoffs. They are moving in the right direction. And now, those are all the teams. Let's recap. For the AFC West, I have the Broncos finishing 15-2. Chiefs finishing 13-4. Chargers finishing in 12-5. Raiders 8-9. For the AFC East, Bills 13-4. Dolphins 11-6. Patriots 10-7, and Jets 7-10. For the AFC North, there goes the pen. I have the Bengals finishing 14-3. Ravens 13-4. Browns 10-7. And Steelers 8-7. In the NFC South, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are finishing with the best record in the NFL, 16-1. The New Orleans Saints, 11-6. For the Carolina Panthers, 9-8. For the Atlanta Falcons, unfortunately, 2-15. I'm sorry, Atlanta. I'm very, very sorry. For the NFC North, the Packers, 14-3. Vikings, 11-6. Bears, 8-9. And Lions, 3-14. NFC West, Rams, 14-3. Cardinals, 12-5. Niners 11-6. And Seahawks 9-8. NFC East Cowboys 13-4. Eagles 10-7. Commanders 8-9. Giants 5-12. The conference clinchers, the Buccaneers and Broncos. The Packers beating the Broncos 42-38 in the Super Bowl. After giving you my NFL predictions for all 32 NFL teams, you can tell that I predict the Packers to win the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers will retire as a winner. And I think this season will be his final season. This is the first time since 2018 the Chiefs are not making the AFC title game. Don't need this hat. Thank you for watching, and everyone, do me one favor and have a great day.